Hello everyone and welcome to Chip and Chase, the NRL Fan Podcast. My name is Steve and this is Dave. Hey Dave.
G'day Stevie, how are you mate?
Doing well. This is episode 21 of our podcast where we will be reviewing games from round 18 of the 2022 NRL season as well as game 3 of State of Origin before previewing games for round 19. So we've got a bumper episode to get through. Without any further ado, let's get into the State of Origin game. A disappointing result for New South Wales fans with Queensland winning 22-12. We're not going to have any footage from this game because they always block us when we do use some of the footage from the Origin. But look, Queensland just played the better game plan. That's all I can say.
Yeah, mate, not much to say about this. They talk about the Queensland spirit and it just shows through at all the right times. And I just thought the New South Welshmen were not ready for the occasion, mate. And a lot of them, the nerds got the best of them and they just couldn't get it done. So well done to the Maroons on a very, very dominant game, I thought. But nonetheless, it was up at Suncorp, and that was the result. So it is what it is.
Yeah, when you look at all three games as a whole, New South Wales won on the for and against side of things, but that doesn't count for anything when because the two games we lost were very close. 22-12 doesn't kind of reflect how close the game was with Ben Hunt scoring that last second try to get it up to 22-12. But it was anyone's game up until that point. But Queensland were the better and more dominant team, playing the majority of the game down in New South Wales area, kicking early, getting 40-20s. New South Wales panicked, as you said. Luai throwing a pass over the top out to the sideline for nobody. What's his name? Crichton throwing the ball back to nobody and goes in goal. Talakai comes on, plays the ball sideways, get penalised, and then runs sideways and loses the ball. Just, as you said, they just weren't up for the occasion.
Look, Steve, Queensland were always going to bash us up at Suncorp, and the boys should have been ready for that. But, I mean, you just see the Gagai and Burden incident. Yeah. I mean, they weren't messing around, the Queenslanders. They wanted to win this game, and I thought it showed in that play. And, you know, I honestly wish 3 or 4 New South Welshmen ran in and there was in brawl just to show you want to hit our boys, we'll hit his back, you know what I mean?
Well, it was well behind the play and it didn't look good for Big Tino grabbing Burton in a headlock while he got punched by, it's like let it one-on-one kind of thing. But anyway, that's Origin and as you said, well done to the Maroons. I was happy for Billy Slater as his first time coaching.
Brilliant. Brilliant debut to his coaching, exactly. So he'll be happy with that.
So, not good, not happy as a New South Wales supporter, but that's Origin.
Yeah, Freddie Fittler wants to connect with the earth.
Oh, well, good luck to him. All right, so then we look into round 18 of the 2022 NRL season, and we saw the Cowboys going up against the Sharks, but the Sharks too good for the Cowboys. Even though it was played at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, a bumper crowd of nearly 16,000 fans up there, and it was just pretty much Sharks were just too dominant with Ramian scoring an early double, and Nicho Hynes looked like he had one of his better games as well.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Jesse Ramian's hit some hot form, mate. So he's looking good for him, scoring a double. And I thought Peter Hiku was really good, mate. He ran for 250 metres or something like that. This was a top 4 clash, Steve, so it was always built to be a pretty big game, and it was fairly high-speed start to the round, I thought. It was a good game to watch. And as you said, Nicho Hynes had a pretty good game, I thought, and Sione Katoa. But what do you think about the Jason Taumalolo no try? Whilst I understand the rule, I thought it was a little bit harsh, man. I thought he was kind of supporting the player, even though he was in front of him. But
it was a tough one to cop, especially considering I think Sharks then went down the other end and scored to make it almost a 12-point turnaround, as they say. So that was disappointing. It was 14-12 at halftime to the Sharks, so it was anyone's game. And Cowboys have been such a great team this year. I thought that they would still be able to go on with it, especially in front of their home crowd, but it just wasn't to be. The Sharks are doing really well at this stage of the season, and I think it's going to surprise a few people who don't necessarily think that they're going as well as they are.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you, man. I thought little Scott Drinkwater had a pretty good game as well, mate. So good on him.
Yeah, well done to the Sharks, getting a big scalp in the form of the Cowboys there. So I think we both tipped the Cowboys in that one.
I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I definitely did. So we'll have to take better note of our tips moving forward. But game 2 of the 18th round of the NRL was your boys, the Eels, up against the New
I
Zealand.
tipped the Sharks.
You did? Oh, wow, well done. The Eels up against the Warriors. This was at CommBank Stadium with 12,279 fans there in attendance. It was always going to be an Eels being too dominant, I thought. But you were worried you guys won last week, so you're worried about what kind of form they were going to be in this week. They have that up and down kind of season so far. But while it was 10-6 at halftime and still anybody's game, Parramatta proved too strong in the end, 28-18. And the Warriors didn't do themselves they didn't disappoint their fans, but they just can't put it together for a full 80 minutes, as we're seeing with a lot of these lower placed teams. And the Eels had too much class.
Yeah, no, definitely, Steve. Look, the pressure was on the Eels in this one to go back to back, and they got the result, but nowhere near convincingly. I thought it was a good effort by the Warriors. They came and, I know it was only right at the end there, but I mean, they still gave us a heart attack in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to see them never give up right to the death there.
Does that disappoint you, seeing that, Parramatta knew that they pretty much had the game done and dusted and kind of, put the cue in the rack, so to speak, and let the Warriors put some points on late? I know it was probably never, in doubt, but you don't want to see your team kind of fold that way and just kind of, with for and against being so important to, for your position in the top 8, it could prove crucial.
Yeah, brother, look, people have said to me, oh, well, the win's a win. Mate, it's very, very disappointing because, Steve, as a Paris supporter, you can never win a game comfortably.
You're right, yeah.
You're always nervous right to the end of this game. And with not long to go, we were leading 28-6. And it was like, all right, at least we'll win convincingly. And then just in the last 4 minutes, they went to bed and they scored a couple of late tries. But nonetheless, I thought Wonga Blake had a good game, scoring a double. Sivo had a strong game, a running game. And standouts for me were Junior Paulo, Bailey Simonson and Nick Hoare coming off, playing at lock,
Yeah, no, it was a strong performance by a number of players in Eels colours. I thought Sean Johnson had a little bit of a better game, but again, he's just not as dominant as you would hope in the New Zealand jersey. So well done to the Eels, victorious there up against the Warriors. Then game 3 of the round was the Roosters up against the Dragons. Wow, this blew out big time at the end, 54-26 in Gosford. This one, 15,721 fans there. It was Dragons leading 14-12 at halftime, and then they just didn't come out in the second half. They put on a few tries in the second half, but Roosters just went on with it. Tries in the 52nd, 55th, 57th, 67th, 69th, and 78th minute. And Manu is just a class above. Him and Tedesco were really strong in this game.
Very dominant, these two. They're actually part of my standouts. Look, Steve, for the Dragons, they're kind of fighting to keep their season alive. Mm-hmm. And with 25 minutes to go, it was 20-all. So they were well in this game. Very, very weird ending to it. The Chooks just, went up a notch and just started scoring at will in that last 20 minutes. Just see the cheeky little move by Joey Manu.
Yes, that fake injury. Well, I don't know if it was fake. I think he had a bit of a cramp and then just realised that there was something on and then just, thought stuff this and went for it. Which was, a lot of people saying, that's kind of bad sportsmanship kind of thing. But I think he just went, ouch, and then realised, hang on, there's something on here and kind of went for it nevertheless.
I don't know. I think it was a bit more premeditated than that myself.
Okay. What about the traffic incident out on on the road there outside of Gosford with the ball going over the fence there and a man pulling over to pick up the ball and kick it back in. That's crazy.
Lucky there wasn't a 10-car pile-up, or the NRL would have been up for a big lawsuit, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, as you said, Manu was brilliant. I thought Sam Walker had a good game, Steve, in the halves. He was very dominant and led him around the park.
Yeah, Ben Hunt also for the Dragons didn't miss a beat coming off Origin. Played really well. Just the players around him just didn't help out as much as you thought they would, because, as you said, it's a crucial game for the Dragons. They were just ahead of the Roosters on the table leading into this game and needed to pull away a little bit more. But I guess the Roosters are just a little bit more desperate, because if they'd lost this, they could have started falling away from that top 8, top 8 teams, and it could have been detrimental to their semi-final aspirations. But well done to the Chooks.
Yep.
And then the next game on Saturday was the Sea Eagles up against the Knights. And this one I always thought was going to be a foregone conclusion, and pretty much ended up that way with the Manly Sea Eagles 42, Knights 12. This was played at 4 Pines Park in Brookvale with 15,896 fans in attendance. And it was, pretty much 14-6 at half-time, which was a very kind of dominant display by Manly, and you thought, they're just going to go on with it in the second half, because, as per usual, the Knights really don't play a full 80 minutes, and it just went to the script.
Yeah, man, look, I think Manly were out to prove a point in this one, that they're there to win a few games in a row now, even without Tommy. And, I thought they done really well. I thought Cherry Evans and Kieran Foran really stepped up this night, Steve, and led as older blokes in the team. Jason Saab grabbing a double, so well done to the young kid. Ruben Garrick and Sabi ran for over 230 metres, and I thought Kohler, Kohler was really strong outside there.
Yeah, he did really well. Kohler's ended up being a bit of a find for Manly, so well done to him.
He's been good out there.
Yeah, he has. And Cherry Evans was on with his boot, getting 5 out of 6 for his conversions, and then getting a penalty goal as well.
Awesome.
Milford,
awesome kicking game. He kicked a 40, 20, everything.
He's on fire after. You'd expect, coming off the back of an Origin victory like that he'd be bouncing around.
Lift,
and Milford getting sin binned right before half-time as well didn't help the Knights either.
Yeah, there's young Saab scoring one of his tries. Yeah, definitely didn't help the cause. Milford getting sent off was for a professional foul, right?
Yeah.
Holding down or whatever.
So, well done to Manly. A good victory there for them. 42-12.
Bad luck to the Knights.
Bad luck once again to the Knights. Okay, then the other Saturday night game was the Gold Coast up against the Broncos. This was a very close and entertaining game, with Seabar Super Stadium having 19,245 fans there in attendance. 6-all at half-time. And Adam Reynolds again proving to be a genius, taking the game by the scruff of the neck and leading the Broncos to a 16-12 victory. As I said, 6-all at half-time was anyone's game. But, a really good performance there by the Broncos.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting game, this. I think the big Queensland Origin win just set alight both these teams that night, because it ended up 16-12, a very, very close game. So it was a good contest to watch. Aaron Booth on debut, I think he was the little number 9.
Okay.
Made 42 tackles on debut, so I thought that was a great effort by him. AJ Brimson also ran for over 250 metres, Steve. And as you said, Adam Reynolds, he was a little general. I thought Tyson Gamble was good, and Delawes Hoyter came through and had a good game again out there on the wing.
Yeah, I mean, Gamble is not one of my favourite players, but when he comes on from with the number from in that 17 position, 17 number on his back kind of thing for the Broncos, they've won 8 out of 8 or 7 out of 7. So he's proving to be a bit of a lucky charm for the Broncos. And
he's got a rocket up him, mate.
He's one of those aggressive kind of nigglers. But Adam Reynolds getting himself another try and kicking 2 from 3. Actually missed one. So well done. Look at Tino there looking over his shoulder as he's kicking it. Did he put him off? No, he didn't.
Saying something into the ear, and he just
I'm
looks
sure.
back at him like, whatever, mate.
I've had worse hecklers than you. So well done to Broncos, beating the Gold Coast Titans there 16-12. And well done to the Titans for putting up a pretty good fight, because a lot of people thought it was just going to be Broncos by how many, but 16-12 was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be. Then on Sunday, we saw the West Tigers take on the Penrith Panthers. We mentioned this was first versus last, but the Panthers did not use 7 of their Origin players, and that kind of proved to be a bit of a difference. They still got the victory 18-16, but the Tigers were in it right up until the very end, and they would have been disappointed to actually not win this game, because it looked like when Ken Mamalo had scored in the 68th minute that it might have been all they needed, but you can never write off the Panthers, even with people filling in for their Origin stars. And then James Fisher-Harris couldn't have been a more fitting try scorer to get him to the victory. The captain on the day getting the last say in front of 11,464 fans at CommBank Stadium. Panthers just proving too good, even with, as I said, all their Origin stars missing.
Yeah, had a lot of players out, but I thought both teams brought it to CommBank.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a little sorry for the Tigers in this one. I thought it was one of their stronger games, to be honest with you, even against a depleted Panther side. They were just in it to the death, and they actually led 16-10 with 10 minutes to go, Steve. So,
what did you think of the decision to put Brooks and Dewey as the halves? And have Hastings playing a ball player lock position. He didn't seem to change his game too much. I'm not sure if, it worked for them on this day, but I'm not sure if it's the solution long term, having 3 ball players, almost 3 halves out there, because he doesn't play like a traditional lock.
Yeah. On the day I think it worked like you said, but they might come across a bit of confusion there with having so many ball plays on at one time. But look, honestly, I would give little Brooksy a go at dummy half and leave Hastings and Dewey in the halves, to be totally honest with you.
I don't know. I think Little's really developing as a dummy half for him.
A hooker.
Yeah, but Dewey definitely needs to be close to the ball, because he was a class above in this game, doing really well at number 6. So he definitely needs to be in the halves. He's wasted at centre. Yeah,
for sure. Look, the whole I thought the big boys stepped up in this. Viliame Kikau
did
for
well
the Panthers.
To keep his hands away from that ball.
He had a massive game for the Panthers, and Isaac Tago, mate. He's just such a good winger out there, a young winger coming through. So maybe the Eels can sign him in the next couple of years or something. But I thought Adam Dewey and Jackson Hastings were good for the Tigers too. And as you said, Fisher-Harris, the big captain, getting the winner to seal the game. So well done to the Panthers in this one.
All right, then we turn our attention to the Melbourne versus Canberra game. And this, this was disappointing for Storm fans, because they rarely lose 2 in a row, let alone 3 in a row, which is where they're at the moment with this game. Raiders winning 20-16 at Amy Park in Melbourne, which is not an easy task. Souths have never won down there in the history of games that we've played against Melbourne, so well done to Canberra in front of 16,106 fans. Unfortunately, this was marred by an injury, I should say, to Pappenhausen, a knee clash with what's his name from the Raiders, the 5'8". Jack Whiten. Jack Whiten's kneecap, and his kneecap hitting dead on, and ends up with a fractured patella, which is of his kneecap.
Terrible.
Season-ending injury. Very unfortunate for him. And I think Bellamy will be very disappointed that they've lost 3 in a row now. I'm not looking forward to the fact that Souths play Melbourne this coming week, because I don't think Melbourne have ever lost 4 in a row. Here's the injury with Whiten and Pappenhausen having a direct knee clash, that would have been very painful.
Yeah, I think it just adds to the eerie feeling now of the Storm having lost 3 games in a row. They haven't lost 3 games in a row since 2015 stuff.
Wow.
So that just shows you they don't lose many. And yeah, I think Pappenhausen's injury just going to take a toll on their team because, mate, let's be honest, he's one of the players on the team that they needed to compete this year, I think. And, yeah, as you said, South's taking them on next, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so
Saturday
maybe
night.
you'd be able to... Where is it at?
Here in Accor Stadium.
Accor Stadium, okay. Well, yeah, you could be making history, mate, out there.
You never know.
This week, if you can get the money over them. So, yeah, to see Storm lose 4 in a row would definitely be a first for everyone, I think.
Yeah, and you're wondering if Melbourne are coming back to the pack a little bit. You know, for the longest time, they've been such a dominant force in the NRL, and doesn't matter who they put in their team, they seem to be able to rise to the occasion. But, they're kind of falling away a little bit here. And
look, let's take nothing away from the Raiders.
No, exactly.
Full credit to the Raiders. They absolutely turned up and were aggressive and tough. And I thought Ricky Stewart was very proud of the boy. He looked very proud sitting there on the sideline at the end of this game. So very good effort, as you said, to beat him down there in Melbourne. And Rapana, just, I don't know, mate. He's a bit cocky sometimes, but he seems to just get him on the front foot on every set. He's very strong and...
did get sin binned.
There was a sin bin,
Yeah.
Yep. He's sin binning. And I thought it was a bit unfair. There was a high shot from Asafa Solomona not long after that. And I thought it was even worse than Rapana's. And it was just a penalty. I thought definitely he was going to get put in the bin. And nothing was said about it. So, yeah, it is what it is.
You think sometimes players get their reputation precedes them.
100%, yeah. And yeah, well done to the Raiders coming up with a good win.
Exactly. All right, then the final game of the round was the Rabbitohs taking on the Bulldogs. It was at Accor Stadium, but it was a Bulldogs home game. And this one, I was in attendance at this one, was, I thought surely South will win it, and they ended up winning 36-28, but it was by no means an easy game or one that was, a foregone conclusion, because the Bulldogs were right in it right up till the very end. South scored 2 late tries to kind of seal the deal, but really it was anyone's game. At half-time, it was South leading 16-10, but I had no confidence that it was going to be, an easy game. And, Bulldogs scored some really exciting long-range tries that just shows that they're playing with a different type of style at the moment under their new interim coach, Mick Potter. There, he's kind of unleashed them a little bit, and they're free to kind of play a bit more of an expansive game, and it's working for them.
I agree. You talk about the half-time score. Steve, with 8 minutes to go, it was 28 apiece in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know me, mate. I'm a through-and-through league supporter, and there's nothing more I love seeing than an absolute brilliant contest. And I thought, what a game to finish the round on a Sunday evening. It had everything in it. It was fast. It was aggressive. Try for try, mate. It was just back and forth. And South's just too strong in the end.
If Latrell Mitchell doesn't play, I don't think South win.
Honest to God, Latrell Mitchell, I want to chop his tongue off, I can tell you that much, because he always sticks it out. But what a dominant player this bloke is, mate. Like, you're right, if he doesn't play, you guys probably lose that game.
Yeah. No, well, he knows when to stand up and take control of the game. And this was, another try for Alex Johnson. Gets another hat-trick, Alex Johnson, mate. And got knighted for his for one of his tries in a post-try celebration. That was a funny moment.
Beautiful.
But Latrell try where, it was a great pass back on the inside, and he just went and bumped off players and then pushed off Addo-Carr like he wasn't even there. That was a really important moment in the game.
Just born to be a machine in this game, absolutely, Latrell. I asked you a question last week about Merritt and Johnson.
Yes.
I'm now finally prepared to say that Alex Johnson is better than Merritt in my eyes. Bagging another hat trick, and he has scored 77 tries in 78 games at
I
a core
know.
stage.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It is.
crazy stats.
And here's the try here where Latrell just breaks out of tackles, and then here you think he's going to get captured, and he just pushes both of those guys off. So well done to...
If that's not the next GI, I don't know what is, mate.
I think Latrell's his own player, definitely. But yeah, so well done to the Bulldogs, and what was an entertaining game. But the Rabbitohs too good there at the end, 36-28, and getting that danger game to stay entrenched in the top 8. All right, bad luck to the Dogs. But here is the ladder at this point in the season. We have the Panthers sitting very nicely on top on 34 points. Then the Cowboys and the Sharks equal on 26 points. The Storm, the Broncos and the Eels all sitting on 24 points, with the Storm doing a couple of teams a favour there by losing once again. The Rabbitohs on 7th with 22 points. Manly sitting on their own on 8th with 20 points. And then you've got a bit of a logjam at the 9th, 10th and 11th positions, with Roosters, Raiders and Dragons all sitting on 18 points. Draw a line right there, because I think the Warriors, the Knights, the Bulldogs, the Titans and the Tigers are all done for season 2022.
Yeah, it's looking like that, Steve. I'm prepared to say that the Panthers have all but sealed the minor premiership from this stage, to be honest with you. So, yeah, congratulations to the minor premiers 2022, the Penrith Panthers, because I don't see anyone winning enough games to get back into tune with them.
No, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a look at round 19 of the competition to see which games are being played. And we start with the Thursday night game. The Eels up against the Broncos. This is a top 8 clash, with the Broncos actually sitting 5th, Eels sitting 6th. This is at CommBank Stadium at 7:50 p.m. kickoff Thursday night, as I said, July 21st. Should be a cracker of a game. Wow, a toss of the coin in this one. I don't know. I mean, if it was in Brisbane, I'd say Broncos, but the fact that it's at CommBank, the Eels haven't really made it like a fortress or anything at this point, but it's going to be a tough one. I think maybe I might go Eels by 2.
Okay. Look, man, it's the road to the finals now for all the teams. I think Para have got a few games back to back at CommBank, so I'm counting on them to take full advantage of this and get the money on Thursday night.
Okay. Then game 2 of the round, Friday night, 6 p.m. kickoff. This one played at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. The St. George Illawarra Dragons up against the Manly Warringah Seagulls. This is 11th versus 8th. Dragons desperate to try to crack it into the top 8. Will want a victory here, but I just think Manly will probably be too good on the night. I'm going to go Manly.
Yeah. Look, I think Dragons are going to give it a red hot crack because, like you said, they're very desperate. But I think Manly are going to be just too good for them.
Okay, so we're the same there. Then next up on also Friday night, 7:55 p.m. kickoff. The Newcastle Knights up against the Roosters. This one I played at Newcastle and McDonald Jones Stadium. Roosters by plenty.
Yeah, definitely, mate. This could potentially break the Roosters back into the 8 too if they win this game. So I think they'll be ready to rumble up at Newcastle that night.
Yeah, so both going the Roosters there. Yeah. The 4th game of the round is the first of the Super Saturday games, 3 p.m. kickoff. Raiders against the Warriors. This is played at GIO Stadium in Canberra. While both teams are pretty close on the ladder there, as I said, the Warriors are beneath that line that we drew on the top 8, and the Raiders will want to get as close as they can to those other teams, trying to vie for that 8th position. So I'm going Raiders here because I think they're just a bit more desperate and they're at home.
Raiders have got everything to play for. Warriors don't. Put me down for the Green Machines.
Okay. Then the Saturday night game, 5:30 p.m. kickoff, a big one. 1st versus 3rd. Panthers up against the Sharks. This one played at Penrith at Bluebet Stadium, which will go to their benefit. And the fact that their Origin stars were rested after Origin for the game against the Tigers. I think the Panthers will be too strong, but it will be closer than a lot of people probably think.
You know what, Steve?
You're going to go for an upset, aren't you?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that the Sharks are going to go up there and be the second team in this 2022 season to beat the Panthers.
Okay, big call.
So put me down for the Sharks.
Game 6, we mentioned it earlier. It is the Rabbitohs up against the Storm. This is the
4 versus 7.
Yeah, 4th versus 7th. I never like South against Melbourne. They're always like a bit of a bogey side. This is the third of the Saturday night games at Core Stadium, as I said, 7:35 p.m. kickoff. But I'm going to go Rabbitohs only because, one, the Storm haven't been playing that well. They've had 3 losses in a row and have lost Pappenhausen. While Meany is a very good fullback and fills in really well. And I know the Storm are favourite here. But I'm going to go...
Okay.
Yeah, they are on Sportsbet, but I'm going to go Rabbitohs for an upset.
Look, man, Latrell, Cody Walker, Alex Johnson, enough said, put me down for the Rabbitohs.
Okay. No, we're both agreeing there, so that's a good one. Game 7 of the round is the clash between the Bulldogs up against the Titans. This is down the bottom of a ladder. What have we got there? We've got the 14th versus 15th teams. This is at CommBank Stadium. Bulldogs taking a home game there. The way the Bulldogs played against Souths, I'm going to go Bulldogs victory.
The Spoon Bowl. Another game for the Spoon Bowl. So, I'm going Doggies after a stellar effort against the Rabbitohs. Doggies to win this by a big score.
Okay. I think it will be a big score because I think both teams don't really defend that much. But then another big clash for the Tigers up against the top 8 team. They played first position last week. They play second position this week up against the Cowboys in Queensland Country Bank Stadium at Townsville. This will be... Cowboys will put on 40 against the Tigers here.
Yeah, no chance, man. They got no chance. Cowboys to win by a big score, I think, too.
All right. So that's the round 19 games previewed. Looking forward to what should be a pretty impressive weekend of rugby league. Back to the Thursday night games, and now Origin's behind us. We look and move forward to what should be a good race for the top 8 teams, heading towards the semi-final race at the end of this year.
Yeah, road to the semis is upon us. Some anxious, nervous times coming up for a lot of teams as we're getting close to the end of the season. So, enjoyed speaking to you about it tonight and look forward to next week's episode, mate.
So, thank you everyone for your company. This has been another episode of Chip and Chase, the NRL Fan Podcast. We look forward to chatting again with you next week after we wrap up round 19. So, until then, thanks for joining us and we'll be back next week. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Stevie. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.